We will make Michigan into the manufacturing hub of the world once again.
The promises Donald Trump made to voters in the industrial heartland of the US helped turn normally Democratic bastions Republican.
And we will stop the jobs from leaving Michigan.
Downriver from Detroit, the steam-pumping, fire-spewing factories have spawned whole communities dependent on manufacturing. But just last month, one of Michigan's largest steel plants announced it's shutting down production with the loss of 1,500 jobs.
It's a proud tradition, I mean, quite frankly, here in the Rust Belt and in Michigan to make these products.
Manufacturing runs through Michigan's veins and generations of Bob Kemper's family.
Our worth is by what we produce and what we make and how we are able to provide for our families. And to have that taken away from you, God. The promises that were made to rejuvenate manufacturing, it was empty promises. It was just empty promises.
The perfectly named Battle Creek sits in the middle of this fiercely fought-over battleground state, the home of Kellogg's, the air sweet with the smell from cereal factories. But at the height of the pandemic, a quarter of people here were out of work.
Two families.
This diaper drive-through runs every week, helping those like Julie, who has 4 grandchildren to support.
Do you worry about, providing for your family?
Oh yeah, a lot. A lot. Well, thank God we got the churches and the food pantries and the diaper drives. If not, then I don't know what we'd do. I mean, my Social Security, I pay the rent and pay the bills, and then it's busted.
Michigan was once a powerhouse of car manufacturing, helping to drive the American dream. But decline turned the Midwest into the so-called Rust Belt. So Donald Trump's promise to restore that pride, and more importantly, jobs, helped secure his win here with the tightest of margins. In Kalamazoo, father and son, Jim and Tim, aren't giving up on making America great again. They've been restoring classic Corvettes for nearly 40 years, and business has never been better, thanks, they say, to the president.
I'm voting for Trump because the country needs to be run like a business again. That's the only thing that's going to bring people back here and get the auto industry, the machining industry, all that stuff back to this country again, and keep building the way we were building. I mean, people were spending money.
The US economy was travelling in the right direction before the pandemic. But will that be enough to convince voters in this crucial state?
And we can speak to Rebecca in Michigan tonight. Rebecca, good evening. Look, one of the stories we all missed, I think it's fair to say, in 2016 was just the extent to which white working-class voters in places like Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and places like it switched from Obama to Trump in massive numbers. What's your sense of where these voters stand now?
Yeah, Donald Trump surprised many by managing to win over those blue-collar workers here in Michigan who traditionally would have voted Democrat. But the people I've spoken to here this week say over the last 4 years, those promised jobs, that hoped-for new dawn for manufacturing simply never materialised. And don't forget, Donald Trump only managed to win this state by 0.2 percentage points. There were only around 11,000 votes in it, so it was incredibly tight back then. Trump has been blitzing the Midwest this week, and Biden is here this weekend as he attempts to reconstruct that so-called blue wall. The opinion polls, if you believe them, have Biden comfortably ahead. My feeling, based on the people I've spoken to, if they judge the president purely based on the promises he made for economic growth here, I don't think he'll come out on top.